Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a widespread panic. You know the one, that nagging fear that our glowing little screens are actively destroying our love lives. I mean, you've probably felt that twinge of guilt staring at your phone across the dinner table, right? Or maybe the sting of being on the receiving end of a distracted partner. But is this piece of glass and metal really a relationship killer? Well, let's unpack the facts.
Think about it. Every single morning for so many of us starts exactly the same way, holding our phones about an inch from our faces. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Being in the loop just keeps us so powerfully attached. Actually, a recent poll found there are 3 everyday essentials American adults would rather live without before giving up their smartphone. Are you ready for this? A car, coffee, or even sex. Yes, literally. People would genuinely rather forfeit those 3 things than hand over their devices.
Section 1. The smartphone obsession. Are we really addicted? If you browse the internet, the consensus seems pretty clear, right? Technology is painted as the ultimate villain. We are constantly bombarded by these loud media headlines shouting about mobile phone addiction and how tech overload is fundamentally ruining our relationships. They position the phone as the ultimate victimizer. But is that really the whole story?
Section 2. The social media trap. Let's talk about Facebook and jealousy.
So, a widely cited study found that excessive Facebook use is indeed correlated with damaging relationship behaviors, specifically higher frequencies of jealousy and conflicts related directly to the platform itself. It kind of paints a grim picture, right? The idea is, the more you scroll, the more you might look at your partnership with suspicion, sparking what researchers literally call Facebook-related conflict.
But hold on a second, because there is a massive flaw in that logic. Yes, the correlation exists, but blaming the medium itself, that's slightly absurd. Claiming Facebook consumption leads directly to Facebook-related conflict is essentially like saying excessive bacon consumption leads to bacon-related conflict, or, that watching too much Game of Thrones leads to Game of Thrones conflict. Look, if you and your partner fight over the last piece of bacon, the bacon didn't ruin your relationship. You just had an underlying issue that manifested at breakfast. And the exact same logic applies to social media.
Moving on to Section 3, Psychology of Digital Connection. Let's look at our needs.
To really get this, it all starts with how our basic human needs function. First, obviously, we secure our physiological needs. We get food, water, safety, and shelter figured out. But once our bodies are satisfied, we don't just stop. We immediately look to fulfill the next big need, love and belonging. We have this fundamental, absolutely hardwired drive to feel connected to a family, a friend group, or a partnership.
And this introduces a really vital concept, attachment style. By definition, this is the specific way an individual relates to others in relationships. And here is the fascinating part. Your personal attachment style heavily dictates exactly how you use your smartphone to connect. Whether technology brings you together or pulls you apart, well, it isn't about the phone at all. It depends entirely on your own psychological wiring. Let's see how this builds into a behavioral feedback loop. It starts when someone experiences higher attachment anxiety in their relationship. They might feel a little insecure. So to alleviate this, they use their phone, specifically social apps, to seek more contact and intimacy from their partner. And the result? It actually works. It leads to increased support, increased attachment to their partner, and, by proxy, to their phone. It's basically a digital bridge, not a barrier, for getting the support they crave.
Because of this deep psychological personalization, our phones become far, far more than just inert tools. They actually become powerful emblems of our social lives. I mean, think about it. They're the repositories of our contacts, archives of our photos, and storage vaults for our favorite memories. Most importantly, they serve as tangible proof of love. We constantly go back and reread text messages because they act as a literal record of our connection.
Section 4. What the data really says. Let's look at the reality of tech.
When married or committed internet users were asked about the internet's actual effect on their partnership, the results were honestly astounding. Only 10% said it had a major impact, and 17% said it had a minor impact. But a staggering 74% reported that the internet had no real impact at all, or that the impact was actually positive. So the hard data completely contradicts the widespread panic we saw in those earlier media headlines.
Which brings us to Section 5. It's you, not technology. Let's talk about enabling behavior.
The truth of the matter is simple. The internet, social media, and smartphones change how we communicate, but they do not ruin relationships. Yes, they allow couples to jump over old boundaries of geography and time, sharing affection instantly. But they are merely tools. They only enable your existing behavior, whether that's good or bad.
If you're ignoring your partner, well, the phone didn't cause the disrespect, it just facilitated it. It's not the technology acting up, it's you.
I really want you to let this ultimate takeaway sink in. We're not so much addicted to our devices as we are to each other. That totally reorients our entire perspective, doesn't it? It's not the plastic, the silicone, or the glowing pixels that have us hooked. It's us, acting on our deep human addiction to one another. The likes, the texts, the constant updates, that's all just a modern manifestation of our ancient, hardwired need to belong.
So I want to leave you with a question. Since technology is really just a mirror reflecting your own human needs, how will you use your tools today? Knowing that the power lies entirely in your hands, are you going to use your device to build a bridge or a wall? Think about that the next time you pick up your screen. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.